You know, we spend so much time trying to figure out the algorithm. But what if the secret isn't about guessing the system, but about building your own? Today, we're diving into how you can stop reacting to social media and start, well, architecting your own success. Let's get into it.
Oh man, if you're a creator, you know this feeling deep in your bones, right? One month, your views are through the roof, and the next, crickets. It feels like you're at the mercy of some mysterious, invisible force that you just can't predict. It's so frustrating.
But what if we just stopped all the guessing and started building instead? I'm talking about creating your own personal, logical system for every single thing you create. Look, this isn't about gaming the platform, it's about becoming the architect of your own strategy.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Algorithm sounds big, intimidating, like you need a degree in computer science just to get it. But honestly, the reality is way, way simpler. Let's break down what an algorithm actually is.
And that's it. Seriously, an algorithm isn't some mystical code. It's just logic. A recipe for baking a cake? That's an algorithm. The instructions for building that IKEA furniture? Yep, that's an algorithm too. It's just a set of rules you follow to get a predictable result.
Let's take a super simple example, finding the biggest number in a list. The algorithm is just 4 logical steps. First, you assume the first number you see is the biggest. Then, you just go through the rest of the numbers. If you find one that's bigger, that becomes your new biggest. By the time you get to the end, whatever you're holding is the answer. See? No code, just a clear, repeatable process.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. It's all about breaking down a complicated task into simple, repeatable steps. If you can explain how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, trust me, you already have the skills to build the systems we're about to talk about.
So, how do we take this way of thinking and apply it to something as chaotic as social media? Well, we're going to walk through a framework called the Claudia Social Media Algorithm, which is basically a logical system for making smart, consistent content decisions.
All right, so the process for any post starts with 3 key questions. First up, what is the one single goal of this post? Is it growth? Is it engagement? You got to pick one. Second, who are you talking to? Is it a brand new audience or your die-hard fans? And third, based on that goal and audience, you can strategically pick your format. And this is where that simple if-then logic just clicks into place. If your goal is growth, reaching new people, then your format needs to be super quick and easy to consume, like a short video. But if your goal is to build authority, then you want the format that explains your expertise most clearly, like a really detailed carousel post.
Okay, so once you have your core idea, it's not ready to go just yet. It has to pass 3 final quality checks before you even think about hitting that post button. Does it have a killer hook? Does it actually provide real value? And are you posting it at the right time?
Now, for this value check, the rule is that every single post has to deliver for your audience in at least one of these ways. Does it make something clearer? Does it make them feel an emotion? Does it show them who you are? Does it help them do something? Or is it just plain entertaining? The rule is simple, and it's non-negotiable. If it delivers on none of these, it doesn't get posted. Period. And what about timing? Everyone is always chasing that one perfect hour to post. Forget all that. The real golden rule is this. The best time to post is whenever you are free to engage with comments for the first 30 minutes. That immediate back and forth is a huge signal to the platform that your content is sparking a real conversation. All right, creating great content is one thing, but you've got to protect your account, right? That's a whole other ballgame. So let's shift gears to the second part of this system, a logical algorithm for predicting and managing content risk.
Look, these platforms aren't just flagging stuff at random. Their automated systems are trained to look for very specific violations in these key categories. And this all comes straight from their public community guidelines. Understanding these is step 1 to creating safely.
So here's a logical process to check your own content before you post. You figure out your topic, you check it against those categories we just saw, you scan for any risky keywords, you give it a risk score, and then you just run a common sense context check. Think of it like a pre-flight checklist for every post. This chart shows you exactly what to do with that score. After you run your checks, you'll have a number. A low score, you're good to go. A medium score means you should probably revise your language or maybe your visuals. And a high score, well, that's a warning that posting is probably going to lead to restrictions. It turns a gut feeling into a real, data-driven decision.
And listen, this is a really, really critical point. You might be creating educational content about a sensitive topic, right? And while that context is super important, it does not make you invisible to the automated moderation bots. Remember, the AI is fast. It's not necessarily smart. It will often flag first and let the humans sort out the context later.
Okay, so this is all awesome, right? We have the logic for a content strategy and for a risk predictor. But how do you actually use all this without spending your entire day buried in spreadsheets? Let's talk about turning these logical steps into a real automated system.
And here's the best part. I mean, the best part. You do not need to be a programmer. There are these amazing no-code tools out there that let you build workflows with simple drag-and-drop visuals. You're basically just drawing out the logical steps we've been talking about.
So where do you even start? Here are a few great places. Automation tools like Zapier and Make can connect your apps and run those checks for you. Schedulers like Buffer can handle your timing and analytics, and a database like Airtable can become your command center to track every post's goal, its risk score, and how it performs. So what does this all really mean? It means when you start thinking in systems, you're doing more than just posting content. You are literally designing the architecture for your brand's success. It's a huge mindset shift, from being just a user to becoming a builder.
Now look, it's a new way of thinking, for sure, but it all starts with a single, logical step. So I'll leave you with this question. What is the very first if-then rule that you are going to write for your own algorithm? Thanks for tuning in.